racing saying, you know what, time, cool, whatever, basic, but it's just a single number. You got to have other things included in it that really show who the best runner is. Because if you're some, I don't know, small, skinny, lanky guy who weighs 130 pounds and you're just winning these races, cool. But I don't know what that compares to a guy who's maybe a little shorter, carrying around 200 pounds. Like, yeah, a guy carrying 200 pounds might be a better runner, more determination than the guy who won it based on time. Yeah, that could be the case for it. So this time divided by BMI. This again, BMI is just a starting point. We could switch it to something later. All right, 3, 2, 1. Hello, welcome to another episode of the Pretty Huge Dilemma podcast. Today, we're going to get into recent race results that I ran. We're going to get into a fashion accessory that I do not think should be happening, and a whole lot more, a lot of things fitting on this little sticky note. So make sure to tune in and also to like, subscribe, comment, DM, reach out, sponsor the show, advertise on the show, send shirts, Keats, I think that's the name of it. Still haven't figured that one out. Maybe one day. And yeah, watch PhD TV, watch Pretty Huge Reviews, and we'll keep this thing going. Maybe, probably. I don't know. I sit around in my room playing video games, eating food, giving my thoughts out to the world. Why not? The only thing, the production part of it, that takes a little bit more time, the editing, but I think I've found a system good enough where, I don't know, it's not too bad. And the recordings, it's not a 3 hour podcast. I don't know how people do multiple 3 hour podcasts in a week, but I guess it is their full-time job, so that makes it easier rather than just doing podcasting on the side. I mean, if a full workday was just podcasting for 3 hours, that'd be pretty cool. They also might do more research and look into things more, look into what their guests are doing more than possibly what I do. So far, the guests I've had on, I haven't had to do too much background on them. But if it is someone new, I might have to do more work for it. But then on the other side of it, it's, well, you're on this podcast, we're just hanging out, talking about random stuff. It's not a full formal interview of things. And yeah, I might be selective about who comes on the podcast, not just anyone. Anyone who says, yeah, I'll go on your podcast, like, whoa, let's relax there. Yeah, I want you on my podcast and have me believe that it's beneficial for it, because yeah, it's a protective thing that I grown, quote unquote grown, maybe not too much, or maybe should be less selective and just anyone and everyone, anyone who has a following, just come on the podcast. Probably not. All right, so last week I did mention that I was gonna be competing in a race. Competed in that race. I did not win. I did not win said race. I tried. I don't know. Tried. Just like I ran, I don't know, as fast as I could. I probably didn't give 110% of my effort. I gave a decent amount of effort for it, but I don't. The that effort might have been limited to race day. Pre-race day wasn't as much prepping for a running race, just general health, working out, running. And I made the joke that I was going to win the race. Told a couple people, like, you know what? There aren't that many people in the race. Kind of small, local thing. Beginning of school year, less people. Maybe I do have a chance at winning this. Because also the week before I went out for a run, the pace was, I don't know, average. See, it's also, if I say average, like, what do you consider average? It was about 40 seconds. What was my pace then? I don't know. I forget it. But it was like some pace. And I was like, all right, well, this is what it is when I'm just on my own, not the adrenaline of it, just figuring out how's my battery on low power when I'm plugged in and charging. That's not good. Well, I'm not to speed run this. Okay. Because, yeah, how's my, all right. Side note, how is my phone battery going down when it's currently plugged in and used for recording? That's not good. That is not a good sign for my battery life of my phone. Oh well. The pace, it was all right, not too bad. And I thought, well, on race day, I'm going to have more adrenaline for it. I'm going to be fueled for it, and I'm going to be more, just generally more focused on. So maybe I will be able to push myself more and potentially win the race. Didn't happen because I didn't do as much running, training prep before, because I just do general lifting, run a couple times a week. That was one of the things that I talked to people about was if you just are in generally good health, you lift, you run, you do a variety of workouts, like I think you should be able to run a 10K and not have a dramatic problem with it, not be walking a majority of it. I think you should run it at like, I don't know, a regular pace, some movement, not having to walk it. If you're consistently working out, just go out. And it's not a 10K every single week, every single day to go out for it. It's you say you lift, you work out, you do a variety of workouts. Because if you're just doing solely lifting, and that only gets you so far. If that's your sport, your goal, okay, yeah, you're going to do that a lot. But if you're just not an athlete, have a regular job, regular workouts, I think you should have a variety of it. Just be able to run that distance. And like I'm saying, not winning the race, not competing to win for it. Just go out there, run it, not be dead afterwards for it. That's what I think for it, which we'll see when I put this as a clip if other people believe that. But if you're generally working out, doing a variety of lifts and exercises, you're incorporating runs like a couple times a week. It's not even 5 out of 7 days you're running. It's do some interval sprints one day, do a longer run, or that longer thing could even be a walk because that probably builds your cardiovascular health as well at some point. And I'm not going to go through research papers. I think people basically know that. 5 run a couple times a week, lift, work out other times of the week. I think I could be able to run. People come back and say, I got knee problems. Well, then do something to help your knees for it. Not just the diagnosis of, I have this knee problems. I can never run. I have back issues. I can never run again. Well, do something to rehabilitate those and make them better. And then figure it out and be able to run for that. Because, yeah, after we finished, I don't know, I placed decently well for it. Didn't win. People were asking, do you run regularly? Do you do these races? And I said, not my main focus. I do it a couple times a week, but I'm not out there sprinting, timing myself. I don't got the water vest, which I don't know. That was a different thing. Well, if you're doing a 5K, I'm not sure if you need like a water pack that you're carrying on your back and a water bottle on the front. Like, I think you should be decently hydrated beforehand. And aside from it being a safety issue, which, yes, people will get dehydrated, feel lightheaded, do all this stuff. Okay, have a water bottle, water pack, fine. I don't think you really need to have it. I think you can go however much time. If it's taking you 40 minutes to run a 5K, which you're kind of walking it anyway, so do you really even need a water pack or rehydration when you're just walking it? I don't know if you need that. But water packs for a 5K, that's not necessary to have. Because if you're not hydrated enough beforehand for a 30-40 minute event, then you got other bigger issues to deal with than figuring out your hydration situation. Especially on a race where they have water aid stations along it. You don't need your own personal ones for it, which I don't know. I have a difficulty at those water things. Gotta make sure not to hit the mute button. Been having some issues with the mute button on recent PhD TV episodes. It was painful having to re-record things. They have aid stations there, and when I'm running, grabbing it, I'm not slowing it down. I don't even think I swallowed any water. I kind of just like swashed it around in my mouth, spit it out, spilled half of it on my shirt, and just moved on with things. But 10K, all right, maybe you start getting water packs, things like that, because you could be out there 50 minutes to an hour, potentially, again, walking some of it. So do you really need the water then? But I think that's more reasonable than a 5K. That's not helpful. Well, it is helpful I don't think you need. If you're not hydrated enough before the race, you're not catching up. If you start getting dehydrated while out there running around, and again, they got water stations. You'll be fine for it. And as we were walking around, scoping out the territory for it, just walking around with Ashley. Yeah, I think so. I think she was present for it. Walking around, and she was trying to guess who was going to beat me in the race. She goes, "Oh, that guy wearing all neon green. I don't know if you're going to win this or not." I looked at her and said, "That's not the guy who I'm going to have an issue with. Someone who's dressed neon green head to toe, he's not winning this race. That's too much for it. The guy who's winning this race is going to have minimal accessories and not have those bright colors. His clothes, shoes might not match. Things might be different colors, might have some stripes, polka dots, things like that. But he's not drawing attention like that. Even me, I got too many accessories to win this thing. I got headphones, headband, sunglasses, running belt. That's too many accessories to win the race. So that might be, if you're looking to see who's going to win a race, it's minimal number of accessories that the person is wearing / carrying around. And also, like, the outfit goes too much. If it's all matchy head to toe, no, that's not going to be the person. It's going to be a person, that's just looks like they, I don't know, not get dressed in the dark. Yeah, there is like some things that more specific, the tank top on potentially, but it's not going to match anything. Colors of the shoes, they might be bright, but they're going to be worn in somewhat. They're going to be tied a specific way for it. So I thought, this guy in head to toe neon green, it's not going to be the one who's going to be beating me in this race, and it turns out, I don't think he did. I don't even know if he ran my race. That might be a different reason why he didn't beat me. Okay. But for the race, as I mentioned on X, which go follow, PH Dilemma Podcast, I don't know, one of the two. So I wanted to come up with a new or different running metric that takes into account things other than just time. Because if you just take just time, you might see similar frames, similar looks of people who win these races. People like to say, I don't know if they do, or people mention it sometimes, or in other sports they mention it, where there's no prototypical body type. People could be short, tall, heavy, light, things like that. People can be all sorts of shapes and sizes. For running, I don't know if that's as much the case. There might be more of a stereotypical type body size. And I think it might be similar for swimming, where you gotta be tall, lanky, and I don't know if it's from, is it, what is it, egg and chicken, the egg or the chicken, something like that, something like that. If people who are ripped get into swimming, or people who swim get ripped, I don't know which one it is for that, which one comes first. But for racing, it seems like they've just got one single metric for it, and that's time, which, cool. But in this day and age, that might be an outdated metric. And we might need, or I need to come up with your help potentially. Put in the comments what you think a new racing metric should be, but something besides just time. Now, I don't want it to be something where you run the race, then you have to do like this other event type thing, where it would end up being like a CrossFit event, where you have to run, then you have to bench press, then you have to deadlift, then you have to jump, then you have to do all this other stuff. It's something based on just physical attributes, where going into the race, you can just say, yep, this is my height, my weight, my BMI, my whatever, my arm length, my shin length, whatever it is for that. Which, I don't know, an easy one would be being, what's BMI? BMI, what's the range of it? Is it 1? Is it above 1? I think that's what it is. And the bigger you are, the higher that BMI. So a quick, simple, easy one would just be taking your time divided by what your BMI is. Is that the new metric we need to go by? Obviously, I'll have to go back, prove out this model in different areas, which that's what people do with, at least I think they do, assume they do. People go back and do with financial models where they say, yep, this financial model, if we implemented it today and looking back 40 years, we'd be up 1,000% fold. They do that with some blood testing type things, some trials they do where, yep, if we have this blood metric, if we start today, if we start this today and looking back 30 years, we would have saved 1,000 lives, something like that for it. So I might have to go back and prove this out for it. We're looking at different BMIs if the times correspond to that. This might also just apply to long distance races. Short distance races, I wonder how much that would turn out to be. Where if I compared Usain Bolt's time divided by his BMI, and it becomes, well, if I run 100 meters and double his time, then I'm faster than him because my BMI is just so much different than his is, which might be the case. I'll have to go test that out for it. I don't know if it's just a sprinting or if it's over a certain period of time, where if you're running over a mile, then use this other metric and switch to doing your time divided by BMI. Is there a different metric you could use? Your time divided by your eye color, your shoulder width, your arm length, your leg length, your foot size. But I think just, quick and basic, just BMI, like how they do for, again, clinical trials of things where just a quick, easy baseline, not the most accurate, not the most encapsulating of everything, a lot of variations between things, some exceptions to things. But you know what? Just get a baseline, just the introduction of racing, saying, you know what, time, cool, whatever, basic, but it's just a single number. You got to have other things included in it that really show who the best runner is. Because if you're some, I don't know, small, skinny, lanky guy who weighs 130 pounds and you're just winning these races, cool. But I don't know what that compares to a guy who's maybe a little shorter, carrying around 200 pounds. Like, yeah, a guy carrying 200 pounds might be a better runner, more determination than the guy who won it based on time. Yeah, that could be the case for it. So this time divided by BMI. This, again, BMI is just a starting point. We could switch it to something later, similar to how it started with blood things, cholesterol, starts measuring LDL, you base things on that, then you go, you know what, there's this other metric that might be better. This apolipoprotein B might be a better measurement. Let's start trying to substitute that in, and then you can correlate that to the LDL somehow, where the LDL trials, you know what, this might just be an indirect measurement of ApoB. Okay, that could be, we could get this going with the BMI metric, where later on down the road, you say, yeah, BMI was sufficient back then. We didn't have technology for it, but now we can do this other stuff. I don't want to switch BMI, but I don't want to switch BMI out for body fat percentage. That could be another metric of it. Time divided by BMI multiplied by your body fat percentage. I could add body fat in there right now because BMI doesn't take into account body fat percentage. But that becomes a little bit more difficult because then when you do these races, people have to put in their body fat percentage. And yeah, some people might not want to put these numbers in. Fine, whatever. Be pretty funny. Just, you know what? Your time, here's your height, your weight, your BMI. And just getting that from all these people, because some people might be sensitive for it. Me, whatever. That's my height, that's my weight. Fluctuates height sometimes depending on how I'm feeling that day, if I'm stretched out or not for it. But I don't know. I think it'd be something more interesting to do. Again, time, cool, singular point. Let's get some variation in there, see some cooler things, and just get this calculation, which might exist already. I don't know what the running community's got cooking. I don't know what they're on the cutting edge of. They're breaking new marathon times, their shoes, which is just putting the carbon plates in your shoes, just bring you forward. Okay, yeah, they've invested a lot of money into doing that for it. All right, what else we got going on here? This isn't too much of a story. This is just coming back to the general health thing. There is in this gym. Yep, things happen at the gym. There is a person, I don't know who it is, don't know the background, whatever, but for some reason, he decides to smoke cigarettes before the gym, which that seems to me, what, what's the name of that book? Never Split the Difference. It sounds like putting labels on things. It seems like that's one of the most backwards things someone could do in their life. They say, you know what? I'm going to wake, or any time of day, I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to get in my car. I'm going to drive to the gym. When I get there, I'm going to smoke a cigarette. Huh? Why would you do that? If you're going to this gym that's supposedly a place of health to make you better, you go, what would make this experience even better? Cigarettes. Or he's just the most in shape person and just wants more of a challenge. That could be the case as well. Thinks, I'm the most in shape person. This workout thing's too easy. I'm just not tired from it. No issues. Let me make this a little harder and make it more difficult for me to breathe and get a full breath in. Cigarette. I don't get it. I don't like it because, yeah, even when you do it, it impacts those around you. I'm sitting on the bench and working out and then start smelling cigarettes. Like, I don't like this. This is impacting me. You don't have cigarettes, impacted your life. All right, fine. But now it's impacting me. And it's distracting me from my workout, even though nicotine's supposed to help you focus more. But whenever I smell cigarettes in the gym, it's like, what is going on here? Why is this happening? I don't know if we need a better air filter system. And yeah, if it's in someone's car, I don't know if you can really stop them. It's probably a tobacco-free area, might be. But in the car, might be more difficult to stop someone from doing that. But why would you do that? It's so confusing, so backwards to me why that would happen. Okay, what time are we at? Okay. I think maybe we'll be able to get through these two topics. All right, fashion trends. Me, as you know, pretty fashionable. Live United shirt, plain white tee. I like it. Other free t-shirts, worn those. Quince. I think I'm getting a hang of saying that. Quince. Maybe they'll get some shirts. I think that clip's out and posted tagging them. Maybe they'll get me some new shirts. I don't know if they got tank tops though, so that might not be good for PhD TV. We'll have to see for that though. We'll keep hounding them for that. Or not. Once, that might be enough for me. Or maybe go a different brand. If there's a different brand out there, you know what? I might be open to it. 100% organic cotton. With this fashion trend, what I don't get, I don't know if I've talked about this before. Who knows what I talked about before? I've talked about a lot of things to a lot of people. Sometimes on podcasts, sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's clips, sometimes it's not. But for the new viewers, here we go. And old viewers, here we go again. Because I don't think I've talked about this. But I don't get why AirPods have become a fashion trend where someone's just out and about, doing whatever with their life. They're interacting with other people. They're in a job where they have to communicate, talk with other people, and they just got one AirPod in. Do you think is an AirPod some sort of, I don't know, sign of wealth, sign of, I don't know what it is. I don't get the point of it. I just think it looks dumb and possibly, I don't know, disrespectful, whatever. People have their definitions of that, and I don't know if I would go and say that, but it's, why do you need this AirPod in? And I don't know if you're listening to something. Is there a light on the AirPod that shows whether music's on or you're in a telephone call or not? Telephone, that's an old word for a phone. I don't know who says telephone. But the AirPod, you don't know if it's on or not. The person listening to you, I just assume if someone has it in, they're just not paying attention to what I'm doing. And like I said, if you're by yourself doing a job where you don't have to communicate with people, yeah, great. AirPod, headphones, whatever. But if you're in a job, you're a cash register person, you're at just a different job where you have to communicate with someone. Why do you have this AirPod in? Is it too much work for you to put in your pocket, to put it in the case, put it away, And if you just got one in, where's the other one? Why would you have one without the other? Maybe that's the problem. Is I'm just seeing people with one. People have two. It's like, yeah, go all out with it. Don't just give me half of your attention. Give me 100% of it or 0% of it, not 50%, because then you're 50% listening to something else, 50% paying attention to me, or you're choosing to do one or the other. Just go full out and say, you know what? I don't want to interact with you at all at this job, even though it's a customer service job. I'm just going to put both headphones in and just guess. And if someone comes over and talks to me, I'll make it look like an inconvenience. Take it out and go, what'd you say? Let's put it back in. I think people just take it out. I don't know what it's a sign of. Is there one AirPod that's cooler wear than the other? Is it you wear your right one if you enjoy this certain type of music? You wear the left one if you're listening to podcasts. If you're wearing both of them, does that mean something else? I don't know. There's one AirPod. I'm like, why just one? Just take it out, put it in your pocket. You got a pocket. If you lost the case for it, then it's going to die and not going to be able to charge it anyway. So what's up with that? I don't know, but I don't like it. I don't get it. There are probably other accessories I don't get. Maybe this is how necklaces started out, rings, earrings. People are like, why are you wearing this expensive things on your ears when they could be used for other things when someone else could just take it? But AirPods, it's not like a sign that you're extremely wealthy, because I think a lot of people, almost anyone, could get AirPods or knockoff AirPods and use those. So I don't know why people feel the need. And there's white AirPods. It's not something that goes with their outfit. It's not, I got a blue shirt on, I got a blue AirPod in, and it matches with that. It's, I'm wearing whatever outfit, it's all, usually it's a white AirPod. I don't know if I've seen too many other colored AirPods for it. And it's just AirPods that you see people wearing. So I guess it is somewhat of a status thing. You go, you know what? I got this AirPod, so it means I have an iPhone to connect to. I wonder if you could connect an AirPod to a different kind of phone. Can you connect an AirPod to a Samsung phone? I don't know. I have to ask someone with a Samsung that decided to get AirPods. I don't see too often people having other headphones or Bluetooth. Well, starting seeing like the over-ear ones, which I don't know how those work, where the sound just goes directly into the ear, but like people around can't hear it. That confuses me as well for it. And I don't really like the way those look. But you see some people wearing those, but not really like at jobs or in public. Well, not too much in public sometimes. I don't think as much as AirPods for it. And the AirPods, yeah, they're not crazy expensive things. Like you could, I don't know how much they cost. I like the wired headphones. Like you get another pair for like $50, like some Amazon brand one for like $50. I don't get the point of that for it. Which I don't know. Me not getting the point of it's not really anything new on this podcast. But the stance is, if you're not using both AirPods, you don't need one in just for a fashion statement. You just take it out, put it in your pocket. If you're scared of losing it, just put it away. If you don't have the case for it, it's going to die anyways. Put it in your pocket. Looks dumb. Ooh, nice. Add that to the end of it, and people would say, I'm dumb. I don't know fashion. Look at what I'm wearing. Okay, congrats. Listen to the full podcast, and thanks for leaving a comment. Okay, so the last thing on my list, choosing a charity. How I talked about this? Who knows? But you know what? Even if I talk about things, sometimes I have new insights on them. Choosing a charity, it's difficult. I don't know if it's as difficult as choosing supplements, but it's not easy. Which, I don't know, charity might be less difficult than choosing supplements, because it might be easier to see what the impact of donating to the charity is. Is it as measurable? It does impact more people, so that makes it slightly more difficult. Supplements, there are a lot out there, not always the most regulated things. Charities, I think those are somewhat regulated. They have to qualify for some, I don't know, 501c3 thing that the IRS decided was sufficient for it. There are so many options to do, and you got to figure out what cause you want to give money to. It's like that could be difficult. There are a lot of causes of things that would like to be cured, people taken care of, all sorts of different things like that. And you go, well, I got a limited amount of money. Even like, yeah, the richest people in the world is like, there is some limit to their money. It might replenish faster, get more faster, but yeah, there's still a limit to it. It's, I don't know, a decision. One of the decisions is how big of organization you want to give to. Do you want to give to a United Way? Ooh, that's fitting. I wore this shirt when I'm talking about this. I don't know. But do you want to give to a United Way, which feels like a big organization, a Red Cross, whatever, other big organization, a big cancer research type place? Because you give to one like the cancer research type places and you think, well, if my gift is under $100,000, what is that going to give me? I'm not going to, if I give $100, what's that going to pay for? Half of a doctor's lunch? Ooh, 10%. Yeah, why is my battery still going down? Well, you might think your gift's not really going through anything, and a percentage of what I give anyway is taken down because like admin fees, different stuff like that. So what's the real purpose of giving to these big organizations if I can't give tens of thousands, $100,000 for it? So I'm trying to go to the smaller charity that might be more local, that less people care or less people know about. Then deciding, well, I gotta look at the tax returns of this place. I gotta see what their liabilities are. Because if it's someplace that owns a property, do I just want my money going towards a mortgage, paying a bank their interest rate? It's like, I don't really know if my money going towards a interest payment for a bank is the most beneficial use of my money. That's, I don't know. That's one of the things I get hung up on, which me not liking debt, that's something looking at these charities hard to decide on, looking into them where it's, if I was to give money to charity, yeah, a percentage of it is going to their debt payments. Like, I don't like that. And am I giving enough money to meet with these people, have change for them? Do I need to get on the board of this place? And like, I don't know if I need to get on board of a place. I don't know if I'm that into deciding what charities do with their money for it. And places, I don't think they advertise. I don't know how many charities advertise they're debt free, because I don't know if that's a popular thing. Some people might come around and say, you're a debt free charity? Dumb. You need to get this debt. There are so many tax breaks. You get all this other money, and then people might bash them for that. Which, bashing a charity, that's kind of crazy for it. But people might do it. And who's to say I might not do that? I don't know. Charities can be made for all sorts of things. Maybe things that I don't particularly enjoy. If I don't think I'm going to bash them, I just might, you know what? That charity is not for me. They're not getting my money, which that's fine for it. The deciding which ones to go to, how many to give to, and it's, well, do I give some of my time to this charity instead? Which charity? I got limited time. I got house to take care of. I got work to do. I got things to do that I enjoy doing that might not be going to work for a charity. But that's just what I'm not struggling with, but just deciding between is, I got this amount of money, it's not the most amount of money, might have some impact. Where does it go? Do it go big time charity, which might just not feel that needed? Which, I'm not saying big charities don't need money. Obviously, they need money to do some of their stuff. I don't know what their big campaigns are to do or the administrative cost to do those things. I've using Charity Navigator to look at some of that stuff. They go through some of it, but it's not always the most complete version of it. And going and talking to a representative, sometimes that's helpful. Depending on how big the organization is, they might have like local people in your area, or if it's just like a local city thing, you go into the place to pretty much meet the president, CEO, person who runs a charity. They'll just give you a bunch of information on that. But that's something that I'm trying to figure out. And yeah, giving charity, give some of your church place, outside how much are you giving there, other charities. If I go to my church, I might just go to a different one of these charities anyway. I don't know how to figure that out. It's difficult figuring out this money thing, but I think the overall that I'm putting effort into looking at the charities, wanting to do it. I think that's beneficial thing to do. And you know what? Helping others out, because more than I need, being blessed with more than what I need, and wanting to help others who might be in a more difficult situation than me. Cheese. All right, so I think that's going to wrap it up, this podcast. Yeah, please make sure to like, subscribe, comment, reach out, DM, follow on X, follow on Instagram, comment, share, watch PHGTV, watch Pretty Huge Reviews, all that. And I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.